Hey everyone, this is Friedel Hagaraja Raven, and welcome to the latest Geekiary News Briefs, where I quickly go over some of the stuff that happened in geek and pop culture so that you have topics to talk about. So, let's start. Again, I'm going to open this video by talking about box office. The most recent numbers according to Box Office Mojo, and yeah, it's not good. I mean, we can all kind of tell that it's not good, especially because of the current pandemic going on. But yeah, Tenet apparently was supposed to reinvigorate the cinema going craze even during a pandemic, but it's not doing well, at least not in the US. And it was a risk that Christopher Nolan and Warner Bros. Took, and it didn't necessarily pay off. Anyway, coming to the numbers, it is currently the fifth highest grossing film of 2020, so at least their stat. Apparently, the production cost was 200 million without any promotion cost, and the current box office worldwide sits at $207.5 million. But then again, the studio gets almost half of that, and yeah, Tenet needs to at least make what, around 500 million to break even, and at this rate it won't be able to do any of that. And yeah, it is what it is, and also it doesn't help that Tenet is supposed to be a very confusing movie, so a whole lot of the general audience isn't really interested in going to the cinemas to watch such a film. But I mean, it might end up recouping some of its costs in streaming, but at this point, don't expect any big blockbusters opening in cinemas near you if you're living in the US. And because of Tenet's performance, Wonder Woman has been pushed all the way to Christmas. Candyman is going to be released in 2021, even though personally I think that Candyman should be released on PVOD because I think that it might end up doing very well, especially with Halloween coming up. But yeah, that was the box office numbers. Now, talking about a new release, Mulan. Yeah, Mulan isn't doing any great either. It also had a production budget of 200 million. And yeah, apparently the current worldwide box office sits at only 37.6 million, and Disney hasn't been releasing the PVOD numbers, so yeah, you can see that they aren't, yeah, as far as I can tell, they aren't great. Otherwise, Disney would have released them. And also the fact that Mulan has been getting a whole lot of criticism. I don't want to go in depth regarding the topics, especially because of how YouTube advertisements work, but you can Google it. It involves internment camps and discrimination against Muslims. It's bad, it's bad. Wikipedia has a whole lot of information about it if you want to check it out. And also, the funny thing is that even though Disney decided to alienate the fans of the animated film by creating a live action film that was apparently supposed to appeal to the Chinese audience, well, turns out that China said no to Mulan as well. It isn't doing great in China either, and I'm just happy, considering all of the controversy involving Mulan, I'm just happy seeing it burn down. While we're on the topic of Hollywood news, the Toronto Film Festival occurred a few days ago, and yeah, I'm just happy because Halle Berry's upcoming directorial debut called Bruised, that got picked up by Netflix for a deal that's near 20 million, and Bruised was shown as a work in progress, and Netflix ended up getting a pre-screening, and Netflix immediately got it away from the rest of the competitors. So yeah, Halle Berry has 20 million for her movie, and then Netflix continued buying films during the festival. The new Zendaya and John Washington film called Malcolm and Marie, which was shot during quarantine. It was a secret project, not many people knew about it. Netflix paid 30 million for that film. It also picked up Pieces of a Woman, starring, who is it? Yeah, Shia LaBeouf and Vanessa Kirby. So Netflix picked that up as well. And yeah, seeing Netflix putting a whole lot of money behind films like Bruised and Malcolm and Marie, which feature POC talent, I'm happy to see that. And I'm a huge Halle Berry fan. I just hope that Netflix decides to release Bruised by the end of this year or early next year, and Bruised gets a award campaign push. Who knows? I just want Halle Berry to get back into the award campaign circuit because it's been too long. a whole lot of people like ignoring her legacy in Hollywood, and a whole lot of stuff in her legacy gets covered by her certain popcorn flicks, and people don't necessarily understand what she ended up doing. She's basically part of Hollywood history. So yeah, I really hope that Bruised end up doing well for her. Talking about movie stuff, Ray Fisher ended up tweeting support from Jason Momoa, and yeah, the entire situation involving Ray Fisher, the cast of the Justice League, and who is it? Yeah, Jeff Johns and Joss Whedon. It's a mess. Again, I don't want to say a whole lot about it because it's a very sensitive issue. Because again, it's a situation where law is involved, and I don't want to say anything that might end up not being true. But yeah, allegedly Ray Fisher and the rest of the Justice League cast ended up facing a whole lot of discrimination, especially the POC actors. And yeah, it's a very sensitive issue. I'm just happy to see that Jason Momoa is standing with Ray Fisher, and he's supporting Ray Fisher. The way the studio ended up using the Frosty the Snowman movie news involving Jason Momoa in order to hit at Ray Fisher, that wasn't good. And I'm just happy that Jason Momoa came forward and he said that the entire thing was a lie and that he's still standing next to Ray Fisher. While we're on the topic of POC talent, in happy news, Jonathan Major is heading to the MCU for Ant-Man 3. And for those of you who don't know, Jonathan Major is currently starring in the HBO TV show called Lovecraft Country. I have been doing recap videos of it, and Angel is doing written reviews of each episode at the Geekiary. The link to those will be down in the comment section below. It's a very fun TV show if you are if you're into supernatural stuff, and especially Lovecraftian lore. And yeah, I'm happy that Jonathan Major is being noticed and that he's headed to the MCU. Apparently, he's either going to play Kang the Conqueror or he might end up playing Blue Marvel. We aren't really sure. According to reports, the MCU is working towards allowing the Young Avengers to make their live-action debut, and Kang the Conqueror's younger version, who goes by the name Iron Lad, he ends up helping form the Young Avengers. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Jonathan Majors in any role in the MCU. And of course, as a huge fan of Wiccan and Billy, I am looking forward to those two making their debut in the MCU. Because one thing that the MCU needs, it's a whole lot of queer representation. Talking about queer representation, J.K. Rowling decided to continue sharing her opinions against the transgender community. And it turns out that her upcoming new book is the entire plot is apparently centered around this cis straight man who ends up dressing as a woman to come closer to other women in order to kill them. He's a serial killer, and yeah, it's just bad. And J.K. Rowling seems obsessed with the transgender community. I'm not really sure what's happening there. And apparently her new book also has casual Islamophobia, because it has characters that are talking about how it would be very easy for a man to hide himself under a burqa in order to kill other women after he presents himself as a woman. And I'm like, why, J.K. Rowling, why? But yeah, a whole lot of people are sharing their opinions online, and yeah, J.K. Rowling is she's just going to continue saying these opinions. I don't see her changing anytime soon, so it will be very interesting to see how Warner Bros. Decides to handle the PR when Fantastic Beasts 3 starts shooting and it's time to promote that movie. As far as my opinion goes, I won't be supporting anything that comes out of J.K. Rowling's so-called talented writing. Now, I know that there are people who say that you should separate the art from the artist, and I'm like, no. It's another thing if the artist is dead, like H.P. Lovecraft, and that's why I'm enjoying what's happening in Lovecraft Country. However, J.K. Rowling is still alive, and she still continues to share her problematic and transphobic opinions online using her huge platform, and I'm not here for it. If some of you want to support it, go ahead, but I'm not here for it. Personally, I can't separate the art from the artist, especially if the said artist is so problematic. I just can't do it. Maybe you can. More power to you, I guess. And besides, if you're someone who says that you support the transgender community and you are an ally, these are the times where you need to make a stand. I don't think, personally, I don't think that I can say that I'm a supporter of the transgender community while I also continue consuming content coming from J.K. Rowling, whether it's her new novels or whether it's official Harry Potter content. I won't be comfortable doing it. That on one hand, I am consuming everything that J.K. Rowling is doing, and I am giving her my money. And on the other hand, I'm also saying that, oh no, I support the transgender community. I can't make sense of doing both things. Anyway, that's that for the latest Geekery News Briefs. It was a very drama-filled episode. Feel free to share your thoughts down in the comment section below. And until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you guys later.